Hey, what's going on, y'all? Decided I'm gonna make a couple videos today. I hope everyone's doing alright. Just real quick before I get into the meat and potatoes of this video, hey gay guys, stop fucking emailing me and asking me to fuck you. I'm not interested. I know I talked about it in the past, but in the past I used to do a lot of drugs and I was fucked up in my mind. Alright? I'm not interested in some dude's hairy asshole and deep voice and fucking man hands touching me. Alright, so I'm gonna say this again. Gay dudes, stop fucking emailing me and asking me to have sex with you. I am not fucking interested. I digress, everybody. Anyways, got an email from a longtime viewer. Title of the email, I am afraid to take risks and leave my comfort zone. I have a little bit of experience with this, so I'm just gonna read the email and then I'm gonna give some advice. Here we go. He says, "My life is crap. These past 5 years of my life, I have done nothing. I dropped out of high school because of depression and anxiety, and now at 19, after years of isolation without friends or any fun at all," he says, "I wasted my teenage years. I've gotten sick of my miserable life at home. I've started having fantasies of living on the edge and pushing things to the limit. I was so happy last night when I fantasized about going on an adventure by wandering my city in the AM hours and exploring, walking through the dark alleys and empty fields. The sense of danger gave me a feeling like no other. To keep it short, how can I explore this emotion and make my life more interesting? How do I get used to not being comfortable and forcing myself to do things even when my mind convinces me to take the path of least resistance? I want to take risk, face fears, and I want to live," he says. "Thanks in advance, Howard. I fucking love your videos. You're honest, hilarious, and someone I want to be like, oh, well, isn't that sweet?" Nah. So this guy says, just the fantasy of walking around his town in the late night hours gave him this rush, this thrill. So where do I begin with this? So we're dealing with the guy who dropped out of fucking high school because he was essentially in his own head too much. And what I mean by being in his head too much, you're overthinking things. You're depressed, you're anxious. It's because you're in your own head and you dropped out of high school, which in my opinion was a mistake. I think that you need to get your GED, sir, because it's a huge leg up in the world. Look, man, basically what we got is a guy who's essentially being a bit of a bitch. Sir, you're being a little bit of a bitch, man, okay? And I don't want you to be discouraged by that. I want you to be encouraged by that. Listen, for example, if I want to build my body to be stronger, like if I want to put on some muscle and be able to lift more weight and look bigger and stronger, I can't just sit on my ass thinking about how cool it would be to be bigger and stronger. Motherfucker, I have to go do it. I have to, like, for example, I walk 3 miles to the gym every day. I bust my ass for an hour and a half, then I go work an 8-hour shift at my job. Alright? It's not necessarily easy. It's not necessarily easy, but I have to do it. It's me leaving my comfort zone. If I wanted to learn how to be a kickboxer, like there was a point in my life where I wanted to learn how to kickbox. I wanted to learn how to fight a little bit. So guess what? I had to go in the gym. I had to get my ass kicked a couple times. I had to bruise my shins. I had to bust my hands up. I had to get punched in the face, punched in the guts, kicked in the legs, thrown on my fucking back, and embarrassed. And then I ended up moving to Cambodia for 2 years, man, and I even fought a little bit there. It's because I left my comfort zone. The only way you can grow in life is to experience some uncomfortable shit. Whether it's anything like me personally, I really want to become more fluent in Spanish. So occasionally here in my town, sometimes I speak with people in Spanish because their English is not so good. And I know that my Spanish is not perfect, and I know that they make fun of me sometimes. Sometimes they make fun of me because my Spanish isn't the best. But I go into it with the attitude that I'm doing this to get better at something. I mean, I could give you a million fucking examples. So, dude, listen to what I'm saying right now. Look, man, and I want everybody to listen to me. If you're one of these people that feels like that your life is going nowhere and that your life is boring and not interesting, and you're living vicariously through somebody on YouTube or some kind of professional athlete or a musician or a traveler that you want to be like, look, man, whether you do what you want to do in your life or not, the world is going to keep on turning with or without you. Okay? And I have to say this, man. I would much rather regret what I did than what I did not. Alright? One of my biggest fears is being an old man sitting in my fucking chair and being like, man, I should have went to Mexico. I should have talked to that girl. I should have smiled at that person instead of looked at the ground. You know what I mean? I should have done this, blah, 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 blah. I mean, the fucking list goes on. So, dude, my advice to you is do what you can to save up a little money and just go. Do something. You have to do something in your life, man. And another piece of advice I have to give is something that's helped me out and a lot of other people is make yourself a short-term goal and a long-term goal. So a short-term goal is something that you can achieve within the next few months. So it's like a motivation for you to get out of bed every day and actually work hard. All right. So for example, your short-term goal can be saving up a couple $1,000s. All right, maybe. I mean, just for example. And your long-term goal, something that you can achieve within the next year or so, could be to travel. Could be to just move to another country. Just fuck it. Just go. Just go, man. I mean, will it work out? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe, maybe not, man. But like I said, it's better to regret what you did than what you did not, man. And there is a lot of sad, lonely people out there that have big dreams and ideas and they never do anything with it. And that shit is sad. That shit makes me want to cry, man. I'm serious. It makes me want to cry. Don't be that guy. All right? Listen to what I'm saying, man. Make yourself a short-term goal. Give yourself a reason to get out of bed. Give yourself a reason to want to work. Give yourself a reason to want to leave your comfort zone, dude. You know, like when a snake molts. When it sheds its skin, it's probably an uncomfortable process for that snake, man. But that snake has to do that to be bigger and stronger, to grow. Does that make sense? Like I said, if I want to put on muscle, I have to go to the gym and I have to experience the burn. I have to be sore the next day. It's uncomfortable, but it's all worth it in the end because I grow bigger and stronger, whether it's in my mind or my body. I hope you're fucking listening to what I'm saying, man. Alright, anyways, if y'all want to shoot me an email, nojokestriking@gmail.com. Bitches, follow me on Instagram, y'all, at Brayton Howard, that's me. And like and share my shit on Facebook, facebook.com/nojokeHoward. And like I said, guys, it's better to regret what you did than what you did not. Peace.